Jeff, Philadelphia, you're on the Wilkow Majority. Hello.
Yeah, I just want to say that I think it's kind of deceiving to tell people that the Republicans are going to be in charge of the largest tax hike ever if they get rid of the Bush tax cuts. I mean, it's really easy to cut taxes because that's whole part of the Republican narrative, just to starve the government out, so that you guys can say, well, we'll raise taxes, and then as soon as the Democrats say we're going to put it back the way it is, you guys can turn around and say, hey, look at these guys trying to.
Well, no, hold on a second. What I was getting at with that was, if the tax rate's been in place for 10 years, it's no longer a tax cut, it's a tax rate. So any move up or down is a raising or lowering of taxes, not the elimination of a tax cut.
But that's an opinion to say that if it's been in place for 10 years.
No, that's not an opinion, sir. That's not an opinion. No, it's not. You're wrong. You're 100% wrong. Jeff, listen very carefully, and you might actually understand this. If a tax rate has been in place for a decade, to move it up and down, since there's no official constitutional tax rate, if you have a tax cut 1 year, meaning, we're going to lower the top percent or lower all taxes by 3 to 5%. And then the next year they fluctuate back up. That was a temporary tax cut. If for 10 years or 8 years you have static tax rates and then you change them, you're either lowering taxes or you're raising taxes. I don't understand how that's a matter of opinion.
But isn't that kind of deceiving to say that we're going to, it's easy to cut taxes. Anyone can cut taxes. It's the easiest thing to do. But when things have to be paid for, you guys can just starve the government out by saying, "Hey, look at the government; they're gonna raise your taxes." When if you cut taxes to the lowest rate and then have 2 unfunded wars in Iraq, we have bills to pay.
Okay, and you have who paid for Libya, sir? Who's paying for Uganda right now?
No, I mean, I'm not saying we should be involved in every foreign conflict, but let's just be honest.
And before you say, no, it's not an unfunded war. You see, hold on a second, sir. No, the Department of Education is unfunded because it's not called for in the Constitution. If the President of the United States goes to Congress for the authorization for war, whether you agree with the war or disagree with the war, that's entirely constitutional. That means the money that first comes in, no, hold on a second, Jeff, because I'm 100% right here. The money that comes in goes to its constitutional destination. The Department of Education does not reside in the Constitution. Therefore, it's the Department of Education that's unfunded, or Social Security, or Medicare, or Medicaid.
Social Security and Medicaid are funded. Like, we have money for that.
No, we have money for... No, hold on a second. The military and war expenditures for war are constitutional. That means that spending is constitutional. What happens then is those things become the unfunded liabilities. All I want from you, Jeff, is to tell me where the Department of Education is in the Constitution.
Well, they didn't have a Department of Education.
Hold on. I want you to tell me where, Jeff, you're trying to portray yourself as really smart here. So if you're a smart guy from Philadelphia, I want you to tell me where the federal government has the authority to spend 1 penny on education.
Well, it weren't in the Constitution to say that, we should have nuclear weapons. Of course it doesn't say that, because they weren't around back then.
Okay, It doesn't say muskets either. It does say raise and support armies and navies. That means weaponry. Okay? It also says that we're entitled to a republican form of government free from invasion. Okay? Those things are in the Constitution. Would you like me to quote them, sir? Would you like me to quote them?
But there's plenty of things.
Okay, so you don't have an answer. The problem for you is, sir, you can't find the Department of Education in the Constitution. You can't find Social Security in the Constitution.
Because they weren't necessary back then.
Doesn't matter. Jeff, okay, because something is Jeff, listen very carefully. Because Social Security became quote-unquote necessary, unless the Constitution was amended, the government doesn't create power based on necessity. Show me where that comes in.
But everyone knows. So what you're saying is we need to get a constitutional amendment, and that's easy for Republicans to do because it's so hard to get that.
So in other words, you just want to rule by whatever you think is appropriate at the moment. That's the kind of law you want. If the government breaks the law, what do you call it, sir?
No, I'm just saying.
If the government is exercising authority it doesn't have, what do you call that?
I think.
In other words, you really come on, just Jeff, admit to me you have no idea what you're talking about.
You're just saying that because you don't like Social Security.
It doesn't. I'm asking you to tell me What's the origin of the government's power to create Social Security? Tell me where.
Of course they're not going to make the power because it wasn't needed when the government was created.
Okay, if they want the power to do something, they have to go to the Constitution. The government is limited by the Constitution. Your problem is you've never read it and you don't understand cursing because you're a child and you can't win this debate. You're a child. Have a nice day in Philadelphia. I'm right, you're wrong. That's the end of the story. When they start cursing, they're children. It's so funny how these people that call this program, they were told, you're so smart, you went to school and you got a college degree and you know everything, and when you call up that talk show host, you just let him have it. If the government can't cite its origin of power in the Constitution, it is breaking the law of the land. That is the end of the story. Well, we didn't need Social Security then. What, people didn't retire in the early 1800s?